fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver excuse, I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, whenever we last left off, we had Deku, Denki, Momo, Jiro, and Todoroki. These five, they've all joined the Meta Liberation Army, and this is the first week or the first day of UA. Momo, she's already talked with Re-Destro. And this man, he is going to be stopping by her house later that day to discuss more things with her. She was very nervous, understandably so, and she did actually ask where they can come over to her house and at least be there in case anything does happen. Now, they did all agree, as after school they did actually leave with Momo. And this was whenever they did go to her house. Now, it was all very surprising. Jiro, she's looking around, and holy shit, this place is huge. As everyone, they're at least not really acting that way. Yeah, they've all been here before. And Jiro does actually take notice of that. Oh, wait. You guys are acting like this isn't that big of a deal. We're in a mansion. Yeah, and? But still, this place is huge. My house is actually kind of like that. Okay, you're the number... You're Endeavor's daughter. Your dad's a very famous pro hero. And, well, my house is like that too. So what? We don't live in a big place, granted, but it's still larger than the average house. Okay, fair point. But for me, this is very extravagant. Oh yeah. I forget that's a thing for people. How do you just forget? Selective memory. That or I could just be fucking with you. Honestly, I don't know which one is worse. Now, they all do head inside. As Deku and them, they do at least go to sit down in a place where Momo does want to hold a meeting, and at least try to come up with ideas for what could happen. As we do actually have where Deku, he does go to do one thing. He immediately does think tactically, telling Momo that if Re-Destro doesn't request him to step out of the room, she can just do this. Deku actually going to hold up a feather. What is that? It's my feathers. At least one of them. Listen. This is gonna sound strange because my quirk technically is a telekinetic power using my feathers, but I can also hear through them. Now, Momoda's gonna reach out for the feather, as Deku's still talking, as well as her actually going to grab her entire hand around it. As everybody actually watches, Deku does go let go of the feather and actually somewhat jump. I can also feel that. Really? That's weird. Momo actually going to let go of the feather. Yeah, I didn't expect that. I had to prepare myself. Anyways, just keep that under the table or somewhere, and I'll be able to hear everything, okay? Wait, why haven't you told us you can feel your feathers before, when they're not connected to you? Because if I did, you would try to prank me. Along with that, I'm not exactly too sure what Todoroki would do, but I feel like she'd try and make some sort of joke. I would. Okay, that being settled. We at least have something to go off of now, right? Yeah, we do. Okay. Now, I really do at least start to wait. as somebody they do go to bring Momo some tea or something to drink, along with the guest getting something to drink as well. As eventually somebody does pull up to the gate, and Momo she's informed of this. The person giving their name, as Momo does inform her, people to let them in. As Re-Destro, his car does pull into the driveway, and he is going to step out. Now, we do actually have where they do go to actually meet Re-Destro. And the man, he's very surprised as he does going to start walking up the staircase. As everyone is standing outside, and they do see the man. As he does just go to walk forwards and go to actually bring out his hand. It's a pleasure to meet you. You must be Momo Yaoyorozu, correct? That would be correct. Interesting. Hello, young Takami. Hi. It's been a minute. It has. And then there's you, the Todoroki child, correct? That would be correct. You're in Yue, correct? Yes, I am. Perfect. That does fit everything better. So, the man actually went to turn his head. Ah, I remember you. You were the electric one. You remember me? Yes, I've heard of you. You were the one that brought these two to us. Yeah, that was sort of an accident, though. I didn't know at the time who they were. Yes. A very risky maneuver. However, it paid off. Both of these two are extremely powerful. And they're actually improvements upon their parents. Tell me, young Todoroki, do you use your fire? No. Really now? That's going to be a disadvantage. That will be a disadvantage, Mr. Destro, but the world I seek to make, people shouldn't have to use their quirks if they don't want to. Ah, sticking to your ideals. I can respect that. Now, the man has turned to Jiro, as does ask her exactly who she is. Oh, I've been with the army for a few months. I see. And your power? Um, I can weaponize the beat of my heart and create sound waves. Interesting. So, why did you join up? Because I just want to. You guys have good ideas. Along with that, I want to be a musician. I think a new world where music can be expressed with using quirk, with people who have quirks like them, it'd be perfect. Ah, I see. You have your own goal set in mind. Yes, I do. I want to be a rock star. And using my quirk on stage, that would be perfect. Certain musicians can only release their quirks in albums. However, whenever it comes to live shows, they can't use them. I see. So that's how you wish to play this. Yes, it is. Music is a way to express oneself. And with the fact that people are being held back that way, it's not right. Ah, an interesting take. So you wish to free the labels that are supposed to be, but are restrained. Exactly. Yes, thank you for understanding. Now, this is where my mother's actually going to bring her hand up. Okay, can we please just go somewhere and sit down? This being where she is going to turn around, talking about how he must follow her. As he's led to the room. Now, everybody they do sit down. As Re-Destro, you can clearly see that Deku and these four are somewhat more protective of Momo. However, it does seem like the Takami and Todoroki ones, they're far more protective. And due to his digging, he knows why. She is their friend. And she is actually a very powerful and valuable ally to their cause. She is far too versatile. And losing her right now, it would harm a lot of things that they're currently building for. Monsieur Yorozu, correct? Yes. I wish to speak to you about many things. Perfect. Now, I'm aware of what you would like to discuss with me. However, these four must leave. I'm sorry? These four must leave. I understand that they are already recruited. You are still on the fence. I can answer your questions to the best of my abilities. But these four, they don't really have a reason to be here. I would like to discuss personal information and details with you as well. I believe starting with those would be best to get a proper understanding of you as well. So would you please have them step out? Now, Momo would actually turn towards Deku, as Deku is going to stand up, as he does act like he'll reluctantly step out. And you do actually where Re-Destro does watch that happen. Now, Deku does talk about how if he does hear anything, then he's going to bust into this room and have a bit of a problem with him. As the man can clearly tell that Deku is very protective of this person. So they are close and a friend of his. An ally, maybe? And this would be where Deku actually is going to sit down outside. Okay, we're fine. What? What was... How did you do that? How did I do what? Flip! What are you talking about? You... Carefree or mentally unhinged? I don't know which one's worse. A good mix of both isn't too bad. You're insufferable. And you still like me. I don't like you at all. That's a red flag. Now, Jiro, she's very annoyed. This guy, she can't get a read on. He's so relaxed and carefree or intense. There's no balance. And Deku, he's just listening outside. As he does start to hear the details of this particular meeting. Now, nothing is really out of the ordinary here. Deku's listening in and expecting something, as the entire meeting does go through. And they're kind of just sitting outside for what feels like an hour, as an hour does eventually pass, and then two. And yeah, they're still talking inside. As eventually Re-Destro does come walking out and see that all of them are just sitting against the wall. I'm very sorry about that. Ugh, don't worry about it. Was that supposed to be some sort of... I don't know. Well, if you're reading too much into it, that's your problem. Anyways, Deku going to stand up, talking about how he does have to get home. Ooh, what's waiting for you at home? I have to make dinner for my sisters. Oh, that wasn't the answer I expected. Todoroki, do you want to join us? Sure. I haven't seen them in a bit of time, and I do know that they actually do like having me around. Are you just going to make roasted potatoes again? I might do something a bit different today. If you're joining us, then I might be able to actually use some soba. Or maybe even just some chicken. Or no, wait. Technically, they can both eat that, but... Now, Deku just try to think. They both have different allergies because of their quirks. Okay, yeah, I know what I'm going to make today. Why do you just freeze like that? He was thinking. Thinking about what? He has two sisters with two different quirks, and they both have different allergies. To food? I don't know exactly, really. One of them's a rabbit, one of them's a bird. And they have certain dietary restrictions. I don't think one can have chocolate. He can't even have chocolate. Really? How do you know that? Because I may have made him chug chocolate milk once and he puked. Oh, why did you do that? We thought it'd be funny. We were also bored. Yeah, but at the same time, I almost did have to go to the hospital for that. So, yeah, you would have had to pay my medical bills. I said I was sorry. Sorry doesn't cover it, Denki. Now, Re-Destro, he does just stare at these three. Or, well, these four. One's silent, one's an idiot, one's narcissistic, and one at least does have their head on straight. Are these seriously the ones that got into Class 1A? They seem a lot more different on paper, a lot more professional, including the Sparky boy, or, well, Kaminari as he was called. That one in particular has seen many improvements, not just with his quirk. In fact, he himself does come off stupider than the rest, but he does at least hold a lot of intelligence in him. However, pulling that out and getting it to express itself is harder to do, especially since he himself isn't aware of it. Now then, with that being said, Deku and Taruki they do go to fly away. As they do leave, and Denki and Jiro are left standing there. As they do ask Momo if she could help them. Oh, sure. I can arrange a trip back for you guys, but I do feel very sorry for having you guys spend so much time here. Especially since, well, you know. But how about to make it up for you guys? You could just stay for dinner. Oh, sure, thanks. Really? Dinner here? That sounds awesome. Yeah, Denki, I think you might actually like what we serve. Tell me, do you guys like pudding? I love pudding. Now, these three, they do go to sit down somewhere, as dinner will be served shortly. We do actually have back at Deku's house, where he does land, walk inside, and his sisters are standing there. Both the two very surprised to see Todoroki. They were actually somewhat angry that Deku he hasn't come home yet. However, both the two they were at least excited that he got into UA. And we actually do have where these two, after seeing Todoroki, they do get very excited, as she does at least talk to these two and keep them company while Deku does go to prepare dinner. And they all do eventually sit down, as they're eating some food and trying to relax. As we do actually have Deku, he is currently going to sit over. He is currently done with the dishes, and going to sit down on the couch, turning on the television as he does look over his shoulder at Todoroki. So did you want to spend the night again, or? Sure. Then again, I don't really think I have clothes over here, do I? You could just borrow some of my sweats and a hoodie. Eh, maybe. Then again, my dad, he called me during lunch yesterday and chewed me out. He was mad that I stayed over at a boy's house. I do want to piss him off more, but at this point, he doesn't react the way I want him to. How do you want him to react? Well, I mean, I thought he'd be a lot more vocal. At least a lot more, you know, coming over here and trying to take me home. Honestly, that's what I expected, but I don't know. He just doesn't do anything. He gets angry and he storms off. That's it. Uh, Todoroki, I mean, I'm gonna say some things and you might not like it. You remember last week whenever we took Momo out to lunch? Yeah, I do. Why? You know how you told her about Toya Todoroki, your oldest brother? I do. Why do you bring him up? I mean, that might have something to do with it. is all I'm saying. I doubt it. Why? Well, because he's never cared. He's never been around. All he does is want to try and train me and just try and force me to use my quirk. Use his quirk. You said something different. Hmm? No, I didn't. Yes, you did. You said something different. I said his quirk. Sure. Listen, Todoroki. Deku is going to turn back around. Always turn to his right and look at her as she's sitting down next to him. You need to know that you can do whatever you want with your power. I won't press you on it. However, I do want to talk to you about your dad. I mean, I'm not really the best for this, but let me tell you a few things about myself, since I hope that does help you. My parents, they don't really stick around too much. After I was born, yeah, they were around in my early life. And then, whenever my younger sisters, they, well, were still with my mom, she was at home a lot more. It was a pretty good time. And then they were born. And then she started to do what she could, try and take care of them. But it's just, whenever they started to get old enough, they didn't really see too much of her. My parents, when their hero agency started getting actually pretty big and huge, they became a lot more out there. My dad, he did try to make time, and so did my mom. However, they failed. My mom, she's still around and she's, well, at least here. However, my dad, he's kind of a workaholic. He says that he wants to make a better world for everybody. A world where heroes have way too much free time on their hands. Honestly, I can understand his dream. It's one I did see growing up. Whenever I looked up to All Might, whenever I looked up to other heroes, even my mom and dad, I wanted to be just like them. But at the same time, I knew more about them from the TV than I did about them on a personal level. My dad I haven't seen face to face in almost a year, and that is saying something. So, of the brief conversations I do have with him, I know he tries. My mother, I know she tries harder. They both know they're not here for us. But they know I'll take care of my sisters. They know they can depend on me. And I'm happy that they think so highly of me. But then there's your parents. I don't know anything about them. You do. Tell me, what do you think goes through Endeavor's mind trying to compare you to your older brother? Your oldest. You said he died in an accident. Was that true? It was, yes. So, this accident, I'm assuming, did it leave you with your scar? Now, Todoroki, she does a stare at Deku. That's the question he's never asked her. No, my scar, it's... Her going to bring her hand up to her face, as she does just grab onto her left side. This scar is from something else. Really? Tell me, your scar... It's... I don't want to say it. That's the side Endeavor's quirk is on, correct? Yes, it is. I've looked it up some. It's not a burn mark, is it? No. Whenever I was young, my mom, she saw too much of my father in me. The way he'd act. I was taken to his training, and I would have turned out like him. However, that's just it. One day she poured boiling hot water in my face. It was, I don't know, a few weeks after Toya died. I didn't understand it. I loved her so much. She was my mom. She was frantic. She was trying to apologize. She was so worried she hurt me. She just lost it completely for a few seconds, poured the water in my face, and apologized. She was screaming, she was crying, and and Deku just going to actually pull her in close to him. As Deku just watched her eyes tear up. Listen, you don't have to finish that, okay? Now, Todoroki should just go to wrap her arms around Deku. As Deku just told her he does know exactly how that story would end. If he does have everything right in his head. I, um, I never told that to anyone. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. I'm here, okay? Listen, as long as I'm here, no one's gonna hurt you, okay? Alright? Come on. We can watch that one movie you wanted to watch yesterday, okay? Really? Yeah, alright. Just, you can go find some of my pajamas and change, okay? After that, I can make some popcorn or... Yeah, sure. Now, with that being said, Toroki's just gonna walk away. As Deku, he does just try to think. He had everything right. The burn scar on her face. If he does have it correctly, her body is warm on one side and cold on the other. He knows that from making physical contact with both of her hands. And there's this fact that the scar itches on her right side, which, if her body does produce flames, should be heat resistant. So there's a bit of a problem. Her body, it does do the same thing. It should be the same way. As her one side does produce flames, the other should produce ice. However, if you were to apply heat to ice, it would melt. But if you do the opposite, it burns. Now, this actually is something Deku he has researched into before. But he hasn't really brought it up to her before. There's never been a good chance. This being what Deku does think is as he is in the kitchen. Him going to put a bag of popcorn in the microwave and going to turn it on. As he just tries to think about everything. Now, Deku does realize something as he does feel some vibrations. As he does look around. My feather. It's still at Momo's mansion? Now, we do actually currently have Momo, who she is just holding up this feather that she does still have. And she's very curious about it. She's, well, never gotten her hands on a feather like this before. It does feel like a bird's, or, well, a feather you use for a quill, or at least something similar to that. It feels a lot more sturdy, but it also is flexible. It doesn't make sense to her. This being where she does actually go to set it down. And Deku is going to do one thing. As he's going to pull out his phone and call Momo. As after setting it down, she just feels her phone buzz. Going to pick it up. Hello? Can you quit messing with my feather? You can still feel that? Yes, I can. I forgot to pick that up, didn't I? Sorry. I was just looking over and examining it. Okay, that's fine. However, either burn it or bring it to school tomorrow. I don't care. Does that hurt you? No. The moment those things come into contact with flames, I don't feel them anymore. Luckily. Thank God. It would hurt if they did. Now, Momo, she has tried to think. She really would love to examine this a bit more, understanding the structures of it. It's sturdy material, but soft and flexible. Is it possible that she can make an armor out of something similar to this? And that's what she is thinking. As she was going to just do one thing. She does go to at least ask Deku if she could examine it just a little bit longer. Sure, you have until tomorrow to make a choice. Him hanging up the phone, as the microwave does beep behind him, and he is going to turn around and grab the popcorn. As Deku does get to sit back down and at least start to scroll through the movies. As eventually Todoroki shows him walking up and sitting down on the couch. Her actually going to grab onto Deku as she is going to grab the remote from his hand. Okay, let's see, what was that movie again? Looks like you're all better now. Just a bit. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing day. We'll catch you guys in the next part.